Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our first episode of South of the Border. Usually you see me late nights, with Late Night with the Gringo. But we decided that we're going to split up our content a little bit because we like to talk politics, we like to talk pop culture. Not everybody likes to talk both. So we figured in the afternoons, a few times a week, we'd be talking politics and see what kind of political news is out there. And there's a lot of political news out there today. And then at nights, we'll talk our pop culture. And there's plenty of pop culture to talk about, especially after yesterday, which... that was amazing if you saw the Golden Globes, but that's for tonight. But for today, it is January 6th, a day that I'll say, welcome, happy January 6th. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you're from Mexico, you know what that means. It's the day of the Three Kings.
Three Kings Day.
Three Kings Day, babe. So my partner in crime is here. He's not going to be on camera for this episode. He's working, but he's not ready for prime time right now. He's a little, millennials.
Wow, I look better than you anytime. Thank you very much.
I'm a weathered old man. You should look better than me, you young whippersnapper.
Hey, you'd be surprised. I've seen some ugly people.
There's a lot of ugly people. So the Day of the Three Kings, for those of you that are not initiated, I think it's starting to become a thing in the United States. At least people are becoming aware of it. If you celebrate Christmas, then obviously you celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. And, well, what happened a few days after Jesus was born? Well, a bunch of wise men came and saw him. Now, we say the Three Kings. Now, there's some Bibles they don't actually say, like, how many actually visited. It could have been 100. Anyways, so they brought frankincense, gold, and myrrh. And so you're going to hear a lot of noise outside, fireworks and everything all day long. It's been going on all day. Like yesterday, oh, my favorite person is going by. If you can hear him, I got this thing set to stereo. Hold on, let's see if we can hear it. I have a daughter. So there's this thing that's famous. This is the same voice you'll hear all throughout all of Mexico, no matter what big city you go to. There's these trucks that drive by asking for your old washing machines, mattresses, all sorts of stuff. And literally, refrigerators. Literally, these people and the poor people that are in this truck, I don't know if maybe they make a lot of money and they enjoy doing it, but they have to listen to that thing over and 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 over again all day long. Anyways, so that's gone by.
Hey, it works.
So
it works.
It works.
It works. So do I.
So Day of the Three Kings. So why do you get presents on Christmas? Well, because three kings brought presents to Jesus. That's where the tradition began for presents. So there you go. Today's the Day of the Three Kings. So traditionally on Christmas Eve, and I kind of had to learn this when I first came down here, is that you don't give the toys to the kids on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. You might give them one thing to open up. Today's the day where they all, either last night or when they woke up this morning, is the day when they open up all their presents. So, of course, today is a holiday.
Or I think even some toy stores are open today.
Oh, toy stores are open today. Dude, toy stores are packed yesterday.
Yeah,
it's crazy at Madhouse.
I was there. I saw them.
Yeah.
They're open today as well, I believe, because you'll get, sometimes they'll give you Christmas money, and the whole thing is you go pick out your toys.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
I think.
We should go tomorrow, see if there's any, cheap Lego sets on sale.
There's going to be no Lego sets.
There'll probably be none. Legos are really popular down here. Dude, we got to make a day in which we go to the Saturday Toy Fair in Mexico City and do a live broadcast from there.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be running point on that.
You're going to be running point on that. But I mean, that place is nuts. There's this toy. Now, if you look back early in the channel's history, there's a couple of streams that we did.
On YouTube Shorts?
No, not shorts. Actually, full-blown, hour-long videos walking through this toy fair, used toys, antique toys, vintage toys, whatever you want to call them, in Mexico City.
Some newer stuff, just collectibles.
There's some newer stuff, a lot of stuff in box, a lot of the Black Series toys for Star Wars. But anyways, so today, happy January 6th. If you're one of those people that cry and whine over the Capitol Hill incident on January 6th a few years ago, sorry, what can I do for you? It's the anniversary, but today is also the day in which it's official. As of about an hour ago, I was watching it live. Donald Trump, citizen of Florida, and that's actually how they say it.
Citizen of Florida?
Donald Trump from the state of Florida has gained this many electoral votes, and they do it state. Right, and they read it off, and I was
watching a little bit because I thought it was, and I feel bad for Kamala because she has, as vice president, that's your duty. You have to be there.
Well, that's hilarious. It's hilarious.
It's kind of funny.
Well, sad. I mean, you're rolling the dice on it. I mean, she started running thinking, it was a possibility. I thought it was funny. I mean, she handled herself well. It's not like she.
No, I'm proud of how she handled herself. It could have been. I honestly was afraid that something would happen.
No.
I can't. I've come to listen. We started off the year pretty crazy. Nothing's off the table.
Nothing is off the table. But I thought this is going to be one of those things that goes smoothly. Besides, Biden is just signing executive orders left and right. It's like you know what it reminds me of? I was thinking as I was taking a walk today, and it seems like Biden's doing all like they put a moratorium on federal land for drilling for oil and natural gas today. That's really hurting the state of Louisiana. The state of Louisiana is going to the Attorney General for the state of Louisiana is going to file a lawsuit against the Biden administration, saying it basically is unfair and hurts the economy. So he's signing all sorts of executive orders and making the transition to what Trump wants to. He's basically trying to Trump-proof the country. A lot of environmental policies.
I'm all for certain environmental policies. I think maybe we got to figure out what we're doing exactly.
Well, I think what yes, he's president. He can do what he wants. But I mean, I think you have to, if you're president, you look at the will of the people and say, okay, well, they voted for this guy because they want this. And now he's like, I'm going to do as much as I can to go against the will of the people. I mean, he's just wrecking his legacy. I mean, he not only had one to begin with, but he's just tearing it up. What it reminded me of, I was walking down the street today.
Oh, for some, he's building up his legacy.
I don't know who those. For some, very few.
I don't know who.
So I'm walking down the street, and it reminded me of remember when Napoleon? If you've seen the movie Napoleon or you know anything about Napoleonic history, when Napoleon entered the city of Moscow, he realized, oh crap, there's no one here, and he's like, why would they abandon it? Then that night they go to sleep, they wake up, and the Russians had come back to burn it all down. They're like, well, if you're going to take Moscow, no, you're not. You're going to. That's what it reminds me of. Like Biden is sort of like, well, you don't want us to be president anymore. You don't want my party to be in power. You don't want my vice president. He's like, I'm going to burn it all down before you even get here. That's what it reminds me of. It's sort of like scorched earth political policy. Go to the beach, man. Like he's done more in the last 2 weeks than he's done in the last 6 months. And and who knows if he's actually really signing these things and he's really doing these things. So, but Donald Trump officially, JD Vance, that was kind of cool seeing him sit there, talk about a measured man, smile, very humble of where he came from. But yeah, Kamala had to do it. She had to announce it. And it's funny because they keep calling, because she's the president of the Senate. So they keep saying, Madam President. And I'm like, every time.
No, I heard that.
So every time.
It threw me off. I was like, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah, so that's going to sting a little bit. Like, well, yeah, I guess I am Madam President, not the one you wanted to be, but
you're still president.
You're still president of the Senate, and so, but yeah, it went, and then every time, a state, someone would read a state for Trump, the other Republicans would clap, yay, and then every time Kamala Harris has gotten 48 votes from the state of New York, whatever it is, and the Democrats would all stand up and cheer, yay, and I'm like, it's like, why are you cheering? Like, I get it. You don't want to sit there and be quiet because it just looks like you just freaking don't want to be there, but you probably don't want to be there. But cheering that loudly is not going to change the outcome. It's not going to be magically make things happen. So it's just weird. I guess it's just a way to rally and say, hey, we're not down, even though, dude, I mean, you think about it, yes, it's a slim majority in the House and they have the Senate and all that. So, and now they have the White House, but let me bring this up. Because I should
doing your job, Gringo.
I'm trying to do my job. I'm not the greatest at doing my job.
Not succeeding right now.
I'm not succeeding. Of course, everything today is all about harken back January 6th and blah blah blah.
Yeah, I saw. Every headline is Donald Trump election confirmation confirmed on anniversary of which. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's a great idea to storm the Capitol. I don't think anybody should.
No, I don't think. No, it wasn't a good idea. By the way,
didn't like that. But I feel like it's been enough time.
Yeah.
Sure, it's politically significant, but nothing really happened as a result.
No.
To change too much.
So, but there she is, a picture of her, Kamala, in her brown suit. It's the same brown suit she wore to the last State of the Union. Where she kind of just when you sit in that brown. I heard the joke. What was it? Saturday Night Live did a joke where it's Kamala Harris doing what she does best, fading into the background because her brown suit, the brown leather chair, basically she just faded into the background. There she is. But Speaker Johnson, everybody all happy. Everybody's like, yeah, this is great. Amy Klobuchar, senator from Minnesota. Reading some of the votes. So yeah, President 312 electoral votes to Harris's 226. So everybody it was just a very big formality, but it is official. And then in a couple days, we're going to have the president in court. And he's going to be sentenced to some sort of sentence. He ain't going to go to jail. And I don't think he should be sentenced at all at this point. But the judge is basically saying that's what's going to happen.
He could write it off when he's in office. Be like, all right, pardon myself.
I don't think he's even going to do that. You know why? Because he doesn't want to give people the satisfaction that he pardoned himself. I think he enjoys pissing people off, but they feel, oh, he's a convicted this and he's president. And people get so angry. And he's just sitting there going, yeah, okay, cool. And I think he enjoys seeing people pissed off. It's just part of his revenge tour. That's what it is. It's the Donald Trump revenge tour, even though I don't think revenge is what's on his mind. I don't want to make it out to be like he's out to get people. But so, this day has come and this day will pass. And we've got 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today, we will have the inauguration. And who knows what the hell is going to happen that day. With what happened on the first day of this year and what's been going on. Who knows? By the way, the state of Louisiana, the governor was on. So he's talking about this executive order that Biden signed to do a moratorium. So Biden's going there today to visit with the families of the victims, right? Who knows what kind of shit show that's going to be?
I was saying, what a pretty bad week for Louisiana. Can't make money.
Yes, the God Emperor is official, Howdy. Yes, Howdy's back. Yes, the God Emperor is official. Look, man, he's a love him, hate him. Again, out there, you cannot deny he's the biggest personality in the world. He's the biggest personality in the last decade, maybe the last 20 years. I mean, and you've seen a lot of great big personalities and people who've become presidents and things like that. And none more world polarizing and famous than him right now. I mean, it's just Jesus. He could go on tour. Oh, he literally was on tour. Yeah. So he's going down there. He's going to visit with the families. But the governor of Louisiana was on. He's like, listen, I want to talk to Trump about. I want to talk to Biden about this. I want to talk to Biden about. So they got the Super Bowl coming. They got Mardi Gras coming. So they want more federal help with preparing for security for those. Right. So he wants to talk to Biden about that. He wants to talk to Biden and tell him how upset he is about this moratorium on oil and gas. Because he listed some stat. I want to say it's like 25% of the natural gas and oil is refined in the state of Louisiana for the entire country. So, anything hindering that is going to drive prices up.
Which is not what you really want to do.
But the third thing he said he wanted to talk to Biden about is what really kind of caught my attention is he's like, we've been having a lot of drone activity and over sensitive areas of the state. And I'm just like, because he's like, we got 2 nuclear reactors here to provide electricity. We've got a lot of oil and gas. And he's like, we got these drones. We don't know what's going on. Same thing now. So now it's not just a New Jersey thing or an East Coast thing or a Pennsylvania thing, right? Now they get drones in Louisiana. Here's the thing about the drones in Louisiana. Those fuckers are like people in Texas. Believe me, I know I lived there. They'll shoot at those things. Like if you have a drone, if you have the ordinary Louisiana citizen somewhere in the suburb of Baton Rouge somewhere, right? And there's a drone over his house, he's going to fire upon that thing. And we're going to see what's up. So that was really interesting that he brought up the idea of the drones, being an issue that he needed to bring up with Biden that maybe someone needs to tell him. Now, what did you say, Lloyd Austin? The Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin, made a statement about these drones.
I believe it was Lloyd Austin. This was a couple weeks ago.
We're gonna attribute it to Lloyd Austin, but what was exactly said that you thought?
It's like, we know what these are.
And then you kind of smiled and smirked.
And to me, I was watching some of this. It was like it feels like he was like like smug ass smirk. You're like, yeah, I know what these are. We're good.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I could be misremembering it. This was weeks ago. I just remember reading something about it.
I know. Every time I go out in Mexico here, I look up, there's no drones. No one cares about us. So, by the way, speaking of looking up, is Popo still the volcano here has been playing havoc. By the way, we're dressed because it's cold weather here because it seems cold weather. Sometimes it's cold. But the volcano's been popping off a lot of ash, and that screws with the weather all the time. Is Popo still popping off today, or is he quiet today? Popo, by the way, El Popo is the volcano we live next to. He's always popping, but it's like the other day he was really popping. He was really pissed off. I was like, wow, he's ready to go. So, but there's a lot of ash in here, which is why we have to end up drinking a lot of water.
Pretty much.
So playing havoc with our sinuses and everything. That's one thing. If you come to Mexico, just check. Literally, if you come to Mexico City or Puebla or anywhere, take some allergy pills with you, some eye drops and things like that. Not because of the water. Don't drink the water out of the faucet. That's for sure. Drink bottled water. But if you're near the volcano and that thing's popping off, let me tell you something. There's a lot of ash in the air, and it sucks. You know what I hate that it does is it screws with my PlayStation.
Really?
Yeah, because no matter how tightly you have the windows closed, the ash is going to get in to the house. And so every now and again, I got to get a canned air and I got to blow. I put it through the front of the PlayStation 5 and out the back. It looks like you're dumping an ashtray. It's ridiculous. So, I mean, that can't be good for it.
Probably not.
I have a little more water here. So, yeah. So that's the big news in the United States today. There's a whole thing with U.S. Steel, and I'm not going to get into it right now. But the thing I wanted to get into is, hey, Canada's in chaos. So this clown, and I mean that clown, this guy's a clown. Justin Trudeau is a clown. He is literally plunged, as Biden did with inflation here, he has really plunged Canada into inflationary danger zones. People are just, it's really a tough time up there. Plus, they're pushing a very huge environmental green deal up there that's also hurting a lot of carbon emission taxes and things like that. So, he finally got so unpopular. But here's the thing: he got unpopular on both sides. I mean, he didn't just get unpopular with the conservatives. Liberals have been like, "You're not liberal enough." So his deputy prime minister has stepped down a couple of weeks ago. But he's not liberal enough. The conservatives aren't going to vote for him. The conservative parts of Canada aren't going to vote for him. So he's stepping down, and I think he's stepping down this week, or he might be actually doing it today.
He already resigned.
So he's actually resigned. But when does it take effect?
I actually don't know.
I think it takes effect now. They're without anybody. Mr. also said Governor General Mayer granted his request to prorogue Parliament to March 20.
I think Parliament's pretty much in control for right now.
Okay, I intend to resign as party leader and as prime minister after the party selects its next leader through a robust nationwide competitive process. Last night, I asked the president of the Liberal Party to begin that process. So until they have a replacement. So he's not really, he's resigned, but it's when it becomes effective when they have someone to replace him. Now, here's the problem. The Liberal Party is going to replace him with someone way more liberal than he is, which is really difficult to do because he's friggin' liberal as hell. Now, this is where I get into what Trump. Now, we're going to go back to Trump because part of me thinks Trump scared the crap out of this guy. And he's like, you know what? I'm out. I'm not, he's like, listen, I've done this for 9 years. And he went down to Mar-a-Lago. He met with Trump. And Trump, I think, just scared the crap out of him because he's like, okay, the first time he dealt with Trump didn't know what was going on. He didn't know how Washington worked. Trump now knows how Washington works. And I think he met with Trump and he's like, oh, this is a new Trump. This is an experienced Trump. So not only is he, Donald Trump president of, I'm going to do what I want to do and I'm going to make it happen. But now I know how things work so I can really make it happen. I think he's just like, I'm not going to be this guy. I'm not going to try to go toe-to-toe with this guy. It's not going to happen. I saw what happened to the president of Mexico. She got put down. So part of me thinks that he got scared, that Trump scared him the hell out of here. Now, the other part of me is like, he's just untenable and he knows that he's going to lose. And he's like, it's always funny when he says, I'm in his statement, he said, I want to get it right. Let's see here. This country deserves a real choice. It becomes clear to me that I'm having to fight internal battles. I cannot be the best option in that election. He says something about like he's always a fighter or something like that. But if you're always a fighter, why? Yeah, here he goes. I am a fighter and I am not someone who backs away from a fight, particularly when a fight is as important as this one, Mr. Trudeau said. It has become obvious to me with the internal battles that I cannot be the one to carry the Liberal standard into the next election. So if you're a fighter, then you stay there, but you're not a fighter. So it's like he's just contradicting himself. And even in his resignation statement, he's not a fighter. He's running because he knows he's going to lose. That's basically it. He's going to lose. And it brings me again back to Trump because, Trump's been making all these things about Canada he's calling him governor. He calls Trudeau the governor of Canada because Canada's going to become the 51st state. Now, my question to you is if the government was going to make a 51st state, naturally it would probably be one of two things. It wouldn't be Canada. It would be either Puerto Rico or Washington, D.C.
Well, D.C. is funny in the case because it's not supposed to ever be.
Yeah, because it's made by the Constitution. You'd have to actually change the U.S. Constitution.
Exactly. So the other would be Guam.
maybe Guam, but most likely Puerto Rico.
Well, the thing is, we've tried Puerto Rico. They've had like multiple referendums where
Sure.
they pass it, but then they quit halfway through it.
But
then they go through it again, and they want it, and then they don't want it. They're back and forth. They don't know what they want.
But here's where
sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. It's just weird.
Thank you, Cali girl. Appreciate that. Happy New Year to you too. And Fat Tuesday. Yes, Fat Tuesday coming up. Here's where Trump plays chess. And here's where he's playing chess. And here's where I think just there's very few people, they always look at him and they think he's crazy. He says crazy things. He's playing friggin' chess. Saying Governor Trudeau, saying 51st state, he's playing chess. Because the Democrats have been floating this idea for years now, is that they make Puerto Rico a state. And what happens? Most likely, Puerto Rico will always vote Democratic. So you'll have 2 extra senators on the Democratic side. So they'll always have the Democratic majority in the Senate. You'll have X amount of representatives. So they'll probably always have the Democratic majority in the House. So therefore they have Congress. And so if they get Puerto Rico as a state, they have Congress. That hands down, they're going to have Congress, right? And then hands down, they can have what, and it'll be almost impossible. Now, how many? And then electoral votes, right? How many elections? This was an anomaly. Trump wiped the floor with her, right? It was not close. Everybody, I always see this. It was a close election. Half the country did this. No, it wasn't. This was a landslide. Hands down landslide. It was one of the most brutal beatings I've seen in a long, long time, presidential wise. Not since Reagan. Reagan was horrible. Reagan kicked the crap out of those people. Anyways, so the Democrats are looking to sort of like, buck the system and game the system by having Puerto. Well, what happens? Most of the people in Canada, guess what? Canada is a leaning. Trump sees it. That's more leaning conservative. And so he's looking at that going, Canada and then even Greenland. These aren't jokes to Trump. Trump is looking at this going, how can I combat this problem for the Republican Party going forward for the future of the country? And I really think that's what he's doing. He's not just throwing out 51st state for, he's doing it for fun. I'm sure he's doing it for insults. And I'm sure, got it wrong, March 4th this year. What is March 4th? Oh, yeah, Fat Tuesday tomorrow. Yeah, no, Fat Tuesday is not tomorrow. Fat Tuesday is always in March. By the way, be careful if you go on a Fat Tuesday. Yes, always a good time. Yes, New Orleans, love you, everybody down there, and for what's going on. But Fat Tuesday, always a good time, but always just be careful. Just be careful. A lot of stuff goes down Fat Tuesday. Believe me, I know. I was young once. What can I say? But Trump is playing chess. He is playing chess. And that's why I think you see this talk of Canada being the 51st state. At least that's how I see this. At least how I see it. So I could be wrong. I could be way wrong. So I don't know. What did you say? Greenland is owned by Denmark? Is that it?
It's Danish territory.
It's Danish territory. So it's not really its own country.
It operates like, you know how Canada operated underneath the British Crown?
Sure.
It was British, but it had its own government and stuff.
Sure.
It technically had its own freedoms. It's like the same scenario. It's Danish. The Danish government has technically last say on everything, but they let Greenland handle their own government like it's its own independent territory. And everything like that.
I mean, what's in Greenland? It's just land. I mean, it's not much there, right?
Well, it's growing, technically.
Growing what?
Land. It expands slowly over time. 2, the seed vault. No, the seed vault's in another island above Norway. There's something else there, but it's got a lot of minerals. It also has a large claim on the Arctic.
Okay.
It's all the oil underneath there that a lot of people want. Russia's been trying to get it. It's a security benefit. That's why.
How much did he offer?
I don't remember. No, he just. I don't even think he put a dollar amount.
But Denmark just said it's not for sale.
Yeah.
I think he's going to try it again.
Oh, absolutely.
I think he's going to be like, let's make a deal.
Probably.
So yeah. And then we have the biggest news going on. Oh, we're going to get to the border in a minute, but this is it. What is HMPV? All right, here's the deal, guys. Apparently, depending on where you get your news, there's a new virus outbreak in China. And if you listen to the Daily Mail or you listen to the news in Europe, they're saying it's like the second coming of the plague, right? Hospitals are packed, crematoriums are at capacity and whatnot, right? So you see all these new articles. Then you see on like Instagram and TikTok and whatnot, some people that my wife follows or sees because she's Mexican. So there's a lot of Mexican citizens that live over in China for business and whatnot. They're like going live and they're saying, listen, here's the newspaper, see the date. Here, I'm at the hospital that everybody says is packed and it's not the case and it's empty. So there's a war in the media going on right now. There's certain parts of the media that want you to think that something is going on in terms of another outbreak, something new called HMPV. But what is HMPV? Just so we're all aware of it, human metapneumovirus. The virus identified as a human metapneumovirus, blah, 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 has seen cases spiking across northern Chinese provinces this winter, particularly among children. The outbreak comes 5 years after the world was first alerted to the emergence of a novel coronavirus in Wuhan, China, which later turned into a global pandemic with 7 million deaths reported. Photos and videos of people wearing masks in hospitals in China emerged on social media platforms, and local reports compared the scenes to the initial outbreak of the C word. Health authorities are implementing new measures to monitor and manage the spread of pneumonia cases of unknown origin. That's the one that gave me unknown origin.
You're not really sure.
Yeah, we're good. Nonetheless, Beijing has downplayed the developments as an annual winter occurrence, and this is the case probably. Like, there's a lot of fear mongering going on out there. Listen, by the way, if they try the whole lockdown thing again, it ain't gonna work. It's not gonna happen. We ain't going to lockdown again. We're just gonna be, at least in the United States. Here in Mexico, they're a little bit more. They'll shoot you. Anyways, if you break things, if you do stuff that you shouldn't do. But in the United States, they're not going to go for another lockdown. So, and I don't think Trump's going to fall for that as well. But apparently, there's this influenza. It's a pneumovirus. It's typically a mild. It can lead to severe complications such as regular pneumonia, particularly in infants, the elderly, and those weakened with immune systems. Where have I heard that before? It's always the infants, the elderly, and those with weakened immune systems. The virus is not new, but has gained attention amid a surge in cases, particularly in children under 14 in northern China. By the way, can I ask you a question without being racist? Which is, I'm already going to be racist.
It sounds like you're already going down this route.
I'm already going down this road. Yeah, it is money laundering. Yes. Yeah, it is. The money we gave to Pfizer and Moderna is crazy. Why is it all these diseases? Like, what is it about China?
The Black Plague came from there.
Why?
Desert rats or fleas, technically.
Okay, but what is it about? Like,
fleas.
Is it just?
It's a huge. You know how the U.S. is like a ton of different types of lands.
Sure.
And regions.
Sure.
And creatures.
I get that.
Same thing with China, but it's like a little bit crazier with like the extreme.
Is it a cleanliness thing? Is it? I mean, you see these wet markets and you got all these animals and stuff like that, right? But it just seems like they're all coming from there. It just seems like, let's get our crap together. Let's stop doing this stuff. Let's stop creating new viruses. Taiwan's Center for Disease Control said the virus is higher risk for children, the elderly, and same thing. It's just the same thing. In neighboring India, officials said there's no need for panic as HMPV is, quote, like any other respiratory virus. There's been news doing the rounds about a metapneumovirus outbreak in China. Let me be very clear on that count. Is like any other respiratory virus which causes the common cold. And in the very old and very young, blah, 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 blah. Director of the General Health Services official, Dr. Atu Goel, said. So he's from India. Let's see here. Reassuring citizens and tourists, something the Chinese don't do very well. Foreign Ministry spokesman said, I can assure you that the Chinese government cares about the health of Chinese citizens and foreigners coming to China. Adding that it is safe to travel in China. I ain't going there. It ain't happening. I remember, I have this friend, she's Vietnamese, and she was traveling in Japan and like 2 months before COVID hit the United States. And so in Japan, they had him. She's like literally in the airport, getting ready to get on her plane back home. back to the United States, back to Texas. I think she's Vietnamese, young girl, something like 30 or young 30s. And so she's got this mask on, and I know like why is she wearing a mask, or like this is way before mask was even a common thing, but it was like this bluish purple color. And she sent me a picture, and she goes, "What do you think of my mask?" And I go, "You look like Katana from Mortal Kombat." Anyways, and that's the only thing I can remember, So I just don't think we're going to be doing this again. We're not going to be wearing masks again. We're not going to be going. This is just. But there are newspapers. Like I said, if you read the Daily Mail from the United Kingdom, they were just. It was just like chaos. It's all happening again. But in reality, it's not. It's just not. It's not happening again. It's not going to happen again. Man, we have a lot of news to talk about tonight with pop culture. I don't want to bury the headline. This next one, I don't know whether to actually call it pop culture or call it. I guess it is pop culture. I'm going to include it in this one because it is kind of politics, because it's political people. Why do I got to look at Meghan Markle again on TV?
What do you mean? What's going on?
First of all, Meghan McCain, daughter of John McCain, slams Meghan Markle's Netflix. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have a new Netflix series. Of all the things that you would want to see or not want to see, why is Netflix saying, the Netflix series is called, first of all, Meghan Markle says she's out of touch, utterly tone deaf to the moment, and this is why the world doesn't like you. And the world really, I don't think most people do like her. But it is called With Love, Meghan. Meghan McCain came out swinging against Meghan Markle after the Duchess of Sussex premiered the official trailer for her upcoming Netflix series, the lifestyle series titled With Love, Meghan, which pairs how-tos for cooking, gardening, and homemaking with candid conversations with special guests such as Mindy Kaling, Roy Choi, Prince Harry, and more. McCain slammed the series for being utterly tone-deaf to the moment. Who the hell cares? Like who looks at Meghan Markle and thinks to yourself, cooking? I want to know how she. First of all, do you think she cooks? No. I mean, she's one of these rich. She ain't cooking. She's not homemaking. She's not doing the laundry.
Who knows? Maybe.
She's not.
Maybe.
She's not.
Possible.
No, she's not.
Possible.
No. She said, "There's the prince. I wonder what I can get out of that." I mean, and she got out of it what she wanted to get out of it, and then she friggin' trashed the place and left. No one wants to see her, but Netflix is going to force it on it, and then they'll call it a success. Now she wants to be Meghan McCain actually says, "I was originally a Meghan Markle supporter. I never was. I thought she was cool, stylish, and refreshing. I never thought that." McCain wrote in a post on X, quote, "Like the rest of the world, my opinion changed when she disrespected the royal family. Now that she wants to be American again instead of British aristocracy, what she seems to forget is Americans want real, raw, uncensored. All of this, even in the trailer, is highly curated, produced, and out of touch." Yeah, no, I don't. Wow, yeah. I mean, she goes on. Wow, McCain just goes on. "There have been 2 terror attacks in 2 days, major wars raging, and Americans can't pay for groceries. We're a country in rage, uncertainty, and intensity right now. This concept is ill-advised. I would have told her to do a show helping bring fresh food to food deserts in low-income neighborhoods." Oh, Meghan, don't do that. No, she married a prince. She don't get to go back to those places. No. Do something to help people instead of your ego. This is why the world doesn't like you, nothing else. Just completely and utterly tone deaf to the moment. Netflix, there you go. We're going to talk about Netflix later on today because of their movies, but yep, good old Netflix. You got a new Meghan Markle series coming out. Who the hell cares? But apparently this is a thing. I mean, Meghan McCain, she's looking rough too. I mean, she's oof. They're just can't stand it. Can't stand either of them. But anyways, that is what we got for that.
What else do we have?
I mean, there's a lot going on politics-wise. You want to talk about U.S. Steel?
United States Steel? Like the steel manufacturing?
Yeah, U.S. Steel. This is a big deal today. Biden has blocked the sale of U.S. Steel to Nippon, which is a Japanese steel company.
That's pretty big.
It's pretty big. Well, first of all, U.S. Steel, which is the third largest steel manufacturer in the United States, is probably only maybe the 25th, 26th largest steel manufacturer in the world. Used to be number one, used to be an iconic company back in the 30s, 40s, 20s, 1920s, right? It's not anymore. It's suffering. The workers are suffering. They need help. They're not financially stable. They're not financially viable. But here comes this Japanese company. Now, Japan, they're an ally. We're okay with Japan. They never, I don't think they're going to screw around with us. So they come in, and the two companies negotiate with each other an acquisition. Now, never has the United States president, as a U.S. president, ever stepped in and said, I'm going to stop an acquisition from the country of Japan. We've always had a really good relationship.
Pretty much.
So Biden comes in and says it's national security.
What are we making with U.S. Steel?
Nothing.
What national, I guess maybe to protect us.
He didn't say, he just said it's national security. So you know what happens? Do you know who benefits from this? China. So China is going to make a ton of money because they're still importing their steel. So in 14 days, Trump's going to have to look at this deal. He's going to have to impose tariffs. He's going to have to do something. He's going to have to do something because the workers, now the U.S. Steel, the workers, they're pissed. They're like, we're getting ready to get paychecks. We're getting ready to like everything. We're going to have a whole infusion of capital into our whole system. We're going to rebuild. We're going to have it. And all of a sudden Biden comes in and goes, no, national security. Again, this is not national security. It is not. It's just, I think it's Biden helping China. I think it's Biden just giving a handout to China and said, hey, you know what? You keep bringing in steel. We'll keep buying your steel. And I mean, one of China's direct competitors has always been Japan. The two of those countries, they hate each other.
They don't like each other.
They don't like each other. It's been a long time.
Historical.
Yeah, it's been centuries. These two countries have not gotten along. So anything to hurt each other is, so I don't understand why. I mean, I don't want to say it out loud, but I will say it out loud. Obviously, this president is either in cahoots or partnering with or making money or something. Somewhere is happening where you would say to your ally in Asia, your biggest ally in Asia, and even Japan came out and said, can you let us know what the problem is? Because Biden didn't say, he just said, I'm stopping a deal on national security. So even the country of Japan, the government of Japan, they have no clue why Biden did this. Because he didn't tell them. Even if he did do it, who knows if he even did it. But yeah, so you're hurting your biggest ally in Asia. You're hurting American workers. And you're helping financially your biggest competitor in the world when it comes to manufacturing, importing, exporting, maybe even military competitor. So that has happened today. Now, I have heard Trump say that he would have done the same thing. He would have stopped the sale, but I think for different reasons. Again,
I just don't know why we're stopping the sale.
It's capitalism, baby. Let it happen.
That's why I'm wondering.
Let it happen. Let the capitalism happen. I mean, Japan has been buying things in the United States since the early 80s. That used to be the big joke. If you were alive in the 80s like I was, that was a big joke. Japan's buying everything. They were buying buildings. They were buying land. They were buying companies. They were buying manufacturing ports. They were buying everything. They owned everything. Hell, I think a Japanese company even owns the Sistine Chapel in the Vatican.
They don't own it. They own the rights to the photos of the ceiling because they paid for the repairs.
Same thing.
Not the same thing. They don't own it. Trust me. They
don't own the actual building.
That would mean they have like the keys. Be like, Pope, we can't let you in.
But to say like,
touch up on the hand of God.
The second most famous painting in the entire world, next to the Mona Lisa, you believe that? Like the most famous painting is like only this big. The second most famous painting is gotta be the Sistine Chapel, and it's a freaking chapel. It's huge. By the way, been there, love it. It's worth it. Just don't, I took pictures. I shouldn't have taken pictures.
You're not allowed to. Take it off your phone.
Well, I hid it. I hid my phone. Anyways, so yes, I have pictures of assisting Jeff.
Criminal.
But it was an iPhone 6, so now I look back at it like it was an iPhone 6 Pro, and that's how long ago it was. So now you look back at the pictures, you look at them, then you're like, oh, look at the clarity. Now you look at them and go, oh, these pictures are blurry.
Yeah,
they're blurry as hell.
Is that a pixel I see?
Yeah, so, but yeah, so the sale is being stopped, and I'm not really sure. Again,
it doesn't. They gave me Pokemon. I give them anything. I don't care. I'm good.
Yeah, let me see if there's anything more on it.
I'm cool. There's got to be more reasons than just. You can't just be like national security.
Let me see here.
I gotta know more.
Let's see if there's anything came up. So they're both Nippon Steel and U.S. Steel are now suing the Biden administration. To stop this whole thing. Steelworkers Union and Cleveland Cliffs over their blocked merger. So, okay, U.S. Steel and Nippon, whose $14.3 billion merger was blocked by President Joe Biden last week, filed a lawsuit against the U.S. government Monday, claiming Biden's executive order to bar the company. First of all, why are we allowing executive orders to interfere with the free market? Isn't there a free market? Like, why is that even allowed? Oh my God. All right. Purely political. Today's legal actions demonstrate Nippon Steel and U.S. Steel's continued commitment to completing the transaction, despite political interference. Clear violation of due process. No choice but to take all appropriate action to protect their legal rights. Yeah, you're basically being punished without actually having any due process. Okay. United Steelworkers Union, they don't want the deal because they want to remain U.S., but they think they're going to lose jobs. Look, you're going to lose jobs anyways because the U.S. Steel is bankrupt. To separate lawsuits, substantial monetary damages for the conduct. So here's a statement from the White House. A committee of national security and trade experts determined this acquisition would create risk for American national security, said spokeswoman Robin Patterson. President Biden will never hesitate to protect the security of this nation, its infrastructure, and the resilience of its supply chains. Okay, but what is the national security concern? They never actually say what the national security concern is. We buy steel from China, so what's the national security concern? We're not buying steel from U.S. Steel. If we were, they wouldn't have these problems. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Proposed purchase was bound to be on par. U.S. Steel was once a symbol of American industrial might. It's not anymore. It was the most valuable company in the world and the first to be worth $1 billion soon after its creation in 1901. So we're talking well over 100 years ago. It was crucial to the U.S. economy and the economy. Yeah, it was. It no longer is. 11,000. So it has 14,000 employees. 11,000 are union workers. Yeah, it's just, what are you going to do? Scare away there are others who are concerned that the action could scare away needed foreign investment from other U.S. industries, and it might end up hurting the competitiveness of U.S. Steel. Yeah, it's just, it doesn't make any sense. You've got someone willing to buy a company that's in dire straits for financial compensation. And it's from a friendly nation. Yeah, it doesn't protect union jobs. I mean, I don't know. It could be just me. Maybe it's just me. I don't think it is, but I don't think it is. But the fact is that they cannot give a real reason other than national security, which just seems like BS to me.
You know it's national security? I wish I could say that for like anything, you know. Like mom got upset at me for it. No, it's okay. National security, mom. The greatest get out of jail.
It really is. I mean, it's just sort of like
national security can't let you do that.
And now it's coming down political lines. I mean, we're talking billions of dollars here. And every headline is just, it doesn't say why. I love this. Oh, this is a good one. What is this? Reason Roundup. I never heard of these people. Corpse president says companies can't do what they want. Corpse president.
Who said that?
This Reason? I never heard of these people. I gotta start following these on Apple News. What? This is funny. We expect to announce a deal. This is called Reason Roundup, our daily morning newsletter. Reason. I don't know. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna follow you. And that was that. Just because that was funny. I'll follow you. That was funny. Yeah. But yeah. And then the other big news of the day, and I don't know why it is. I have no idea why it is. But apparently, people don't understand how to stay safe in the snow. What is that? 465 South. I'm trying to recognize that Meridian Street. It's got to be, what? Indiana. Yeah, that's Indiana. Yeah. At least 4 people are dead as massive snowstorm creates dangerous travel conditions. Why are you driving in it? Listen, if you don't have an SUV, don't drive in it. But it's snow. From Ohio to Washington, D.C., up to a foot of snow is expected in some areas. God, I miss snow. God, I wish I was there. I miss snow. Don't you miss the snow? I mean, not the shoveling, but we had a snowblower, so it was easy. That was easy. I mean, Michigan, it was what, -8 degrees? Or what is it in Portage today? We used to live in a place called Portage, Michigan, right outside of Kalamazoo. And when I say cold, listen, I was born and raised in New England, so I know cold. Then I got to Michigan, and it's a whole different type of cold. All right? It's a dry cold. It's the kind of cold that'll go through your body, wrap your bones, stay inside you, kind of incubate, kind of stay for a while. You can actually go outside in this type of Michigan weather, come back inside, sit inside of a fire. Your outsides will get warm. Your inside will stay cold. It's like you're a steak that's been undercooked. It's really silly. It's the most fascinating feeling in the world. When you start losing feeling in your tongue and you start to lose the ability to speak, or your eyeballs start to kind of freeze over, like that's an interesting feeling. You know, when they say you don't be outside exposed skin for more than 10 minutes, that's no joke. That's no lie. I've been there. And I'm like, your tongue stops working because it's so cold, it dries it out and the muscles can't warm up to work. And you're like, but what's the current temperature? What does it feel like in Portage, Michigan right now?
Not a clue.
Not a clue. Look it up. Because I bet it's something like 20 degrees, but it feels like 8 or something like that.
Let's see. We're saying Portage.
Portage.
Do I even have it saved anymore? We'll see.
What do you mean? You got to save. You should. That's
I have Allegan saved. How do I have Allegan saved?
Why do you have Allegan saved?
Because I used to go there all the time.
You went there like 10 times. It's a little crap town.
25.
So what does it feel like?
Feels like 12.
Feels like 12 degrees. That's nasty. That's harsh, right?
Pretty bad.
I mean, but I miss it. I love it. Why? Because I miss the snow. I miss how pretty it is. I don't miss dirty snow. That I could never stand is like the dirt snow. You have like all the stuff on the side of the road. But where we lived, we lived in a little cul-de-sac, and the snow would come down. It was beautiful, the trees and everything. But dangerous. Like I never knew this until Michigan. Like we didn't have to do this in Massachusetts, but in Michigan, you have to shovel your roof.
Yes.
Like that was a thing. Like we moved into this house and there was this tool they left in the garage. They said this is necessary for the house. It was this long aluminum pole. At the end of it looked like a rake, but without like any holes to make like the little forks. It was just like one blade. And I was like, what the hell is this for? And finally my neighbor said, that's to get the snow off your roof. So literally you got to huck it up there and pull it down. And otherwise your roof might collapse. That was always interesting. So how bad is this snowstorm going to be? Is this what are they calling this another polar vortex? Oh, let's see here. Kansas to Virginia. This is a big, including a car pileup in Illinois. Figures Illinois. In Kansas, where blizzard warnings have issued over the state. Snow is still making way. It's snow, guys. It's winter. It's gonna happen. It happens every FEMA, like listen, they haven't helped the people who've gone through hurricanes yet. Now they're gonna like, oh, we'll help you with your ice. Stay away, FEMA. Up to 12 inches of snow. That's significant in Ohio through DC. People already without power. People already out with this. Listen, it's snow. It's going to happen. It's going to come. It's not hitting New England, is it?
Doesn't look like it.
Doesn't look like it. We got the Capitol. They're building. That's all nice. Yeah, here it is. Watching the polar vortex. Oh, so if you're traveling today, that sucks. More than 3,500 flights traveling into or leaving the U.S. face delays. As of that sucks. More than 200 additional flights were canceled. Is it 200? It's supposed to be 2,000. I don't know, but it looks like 200. Custom delays. More than 50 Amtrak trains operating from the Midwest to the Northeast have also been canceled on Monday. Traveling by train is fun. I travel by train. Yeah, some parts of Canada does lean conservative. Believe me. Sorry, you was a few minutes late. Yeah, they do. The big cities surrounding you, those are liberal, but some of you get into the farmlands, they lean conservative. What's going on right now? So, it really depends where you head. You stay in the cities, yes, you're leaning liberal, but like if you go out, like I've been to Canada a bunch of times. Outside the city. Those are just like the United States. This is conservative. So, and then as well, like you got Montreal, Toronto, yes, liberal, but those surrounding areas, which I've been in, those are not. Those are not. So, anyways, and it was what's going on. You're starting to see a political shift in that country as well, much like you saw here. The people can't pay for themselves, so. The carbon taxes, the food prices, everything. You've seen the truckers, you've seen all that stuff, all those protests. So you're going to start to see that kind of political shift. But yeah, if you're in Montreal, you're right. If you're in Toronto, you're right. You're going to be. It's going to be liberal. All right. What were we talking about? Oh, we're talking about snow. So I'm traveling up. Speaking of Canada, I used to travel to Canada by train all the time. Up through the Adirondacks, and it would be huge amounts of snow, right? But you'd have to go real slow so you don't get derailed. But it was great. It was fun. It's very pretty. So I miss the snow. We don't have snow down here. That's the one thing Mexico. If you like snow, don't come to Mexico. You will never have snow. I do miss the snow. So, yeah. Yeah. But that is our political news of the day. Let's see. Let me get back to me. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. I'm pretty.
Keep lying to yourself.
I'm not. Well, your mother told me I look like this thing on the popcorn bucket.
That's rough.
That's pretty rough. I was going to shave my beard. The other day I was going to shave my beard. She said no. I said, why not? She goes, you look ugly without a beard. I was like, thank you. Appreciate that, sweetheart. I don't look like Play-Doh. Oh, I got to build my model. Sooner or later. Brown eye curls or snow? I have a brown eye girl, and she used to love the snow too. I think my wife misses the snow. Probably not. She's probably downstairs listening and going, no, I don't miss the snow at all. I don't miss the snow at all. What was funny? When your mother when I first met your mother, I'm like, oh, the snow's coming. She's like, well, what does that mean? She go, you need a jacket. And she's like, I have a jacket. No, you need a thicker jacket. You need a bigger jacket. And she's like, what the hell is this? She was it's funny. That was funny that day. I was like, we had to go buy her a jacket. It was hilarious. So, all right. What else you got going on? What do you have going on? Yeah, what have you been doing?
I've been on my game for a little bit after I wrote something.
What are you playing the Pokemon game again?
Yes. I've been very close to. I've been matched with really difficult people, and I don't know if the game just noticed I was winning too much. It started to give me some bad coin flips here. Some real bad coin flips.
Are you addicted to another Pokemon game now?
I always like Pokemon games.
Yeah, but you're always playing that game.
Well, because it's just fun.
Yeah, but you could be doing something.
Can I not have fun, old man?
Yeah. It depends on what time of year. Sometimes we're coastal. Most of the time inland. But we like to head over to the peninsula there, especially the Yucatan Peninsula. And then we also like to head over to I don't know what state Tulum is in. What state now?
I could be.
It's not Michoacan, no.
No, it's is it also called Yucatan? It could be called Yucatan.
It could be. It's. By the way, Tulum, beautiful. Don't bring your kids though. It's not for kids.
It's Won't tell me. Will not tell me.
Dude, ask Siri.
I'm looking at a map. Well, I'm not looking at a map actually yet.
Just ask Siri. What state is Tulum in? You're making the master of Quintana Roo. That's right, Quintana Roo. Beautiful state. Beautiful state in Mexico. Dude, you're like the master of AI tools when it comes to, writing.
Yeah, but I don't like asking Siri all the time.
Why?
Because sometimes it mishears me.
It doesn't mishear you. You misspeak.
I don't misspeak.
You misspeak.
I don't misspeak.
Dude.
I'm a not misspoken person.
You're a very misspoken person. Maybe you.
I'm just confused.
You're not confused. So, tonight I was thinking about starting off with wearing a mask. I don't know what mask I'm going to wear. We talk about pop culture.
Talk about hiding the face. What?
I don't know. I might put the mask on for the first few minutes. I don't know yet. Anyways. All right. With that, this has been the first episode of South of the Border. We're going to get going. We're going to get out of here. And we're going to get ready for our stream later on tonight, which is we're going to be talking about the Golden Globes, pop culture, everything, all that. So, had a lot of fun talking with everybody. So, it's 3:00 here. So, it's about, 4 or 5 o'clock on the East Coast, 4 o'clock on the East Coast. So, things are wrapping. I hope everybody's having a good week. Also, yeah. So, tonight we'll be live, again, streaming. And then also we got Netflix, is first episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix. That'll be interesting.
You want to review that for the...
I'm not going to review it, but it's going to be on. It's going to be on. We're going to be watching it with the volume down while we're streaming. I'm not missing it. I'm not missing it. I'm not going to miss it.
Gringo.
No. I'm not missing it. No. But we'll be streaming.
I should go watch it for you. You can focus on streaming.
No, what do you listen, you Amelia Perez fan.
Whoa.
Okay. Anyways. All right. We're going to get out of here. Everybody have a good one. From South of the Border, I'm your electing Gringo. I'll see you later on tonight. Adios.
Yeah, huevo.